Hello, everyone, and welcome to the second episode of the Women in Business series. Today, we have the current president of the National Association of Women Business Owners Phoenix chapter, one of the Phoenix Business Journal's outstanding women in business, and a recipient of the Bronze Stevie Award for Female Solo Entrepreneur of the Year. Please welcome the phenomenal, the resilient Jean Briese.
Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all.
So just to get us started, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Sure. After a really successful career at a Fortune 10 technology firm, where I created and led award-winning teams, I decided to break that mold and launch a new career as a business owner. So today I'm a motivational speaker, and corporations and organizations hire me to empower and inspire and give new tools to their teams. And I look forward to doing that all the time.
That's really incredible. I'm glad we got you on here because that's the entire goal of the webinar series.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we are definitely trying to motivate young girls to pursue careers in business. So it's really impressive that you were able to start your own business. For the people who may not know much about you, you were abandoned at the age of 15 and have to navigate on your own through life, which just makes it more impressive that you were able to accomplish all these impressive feats. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got to where you are now?
Yeah, sure. I am the oldest of 4 kids. And when I was 15, my sister was 12, my brothers were 10 and 5, and my parents were divorced. And a couple of weeks before Christmas, my mom decided to go out on a date, which was great. She left, no problem. We went to bed. We got up the next morning and mom hadn't come home. And we went about our day, and day 1 came and went, and mom still didn't come home. And then day 2 came and went, and mom still didn't come home. And day 3, and day 4, and day 5. And now it's about a week before Christmas, and mom still hasn't come home, and we are starting to run out of food. Well, I'm the oldest, so I think I have to do something. So I called for help. And we had some social workers come out, and the first thing that the social worker said to me was, Jean, it is a week before Christmas. All of the resources and all of the food and clothing and gifts, everything that we have allocated to help families in need has already been allocated. We don't have anything left to help your family. So I need you to prepare yourself, because they thought it would be better if my siblings heard it from me. They wanted me to prepare myself and my siblings for the fact that there was not going to be a Christmas celebration for us. There wasn't going to be a Christmas feast. There wasn't going to be any gifts. And even though I was 15, that was really hard news to hear, because we'd already lost our father. He didn't have much to do with us after the parents had gotten divorced. Our mother had just abandoned us. And now they're telling us that even Santa isn't going to come see us. And we all know why Santa doesn't come, right? We must be some really bad kids. So that was hard to hear. The second thing that the social workers told me was, Jean, it's a week before Christmas. And at any time of the year, it is really difficult to place 4 kids into one home. A week before Christmas, it's impossible. It's not going to happen. So we need you to prepare yourself and your siblings for the fact that we are going to have to split you all up. Now, if the first news was difficult, this was devastating. Everything we knew to be true in our world had just blown up. Nothing that we believed to be true was true anymore. And the only thing it seemed that we had left was each other. And now they wanted to take that away from us too. So I don't know, I became quite an angry teen, and I really believed that adults were the cause of my problems. And I kind of closed myself off a little bit, kind of becoming like a Grinch. Somehow a decision was made to keep us together until after Christmas. And I like to think it's because I threw such a fit. So they kept us together. They had us in a mobile home. And it was the night before Christmas, or maybe the 23rd. I don't remember which one. And I see a car pull up, and the social worker gets out. And there's another car that pulls up behind her, and other people get out. And they're all adults. So I'm like, I'm done with adults. They caused all my problems. So I head to the very back of the trailer, as far away as I can get from everybody. And I assume my position of defense. Nobody's getting through this wall. And the social worker comes back and she says to me, Jean, there's some people here and they really want to meet you. There's a group of people from a church. They heard about your family and they're here to help. And they would love to meet you. No way. I'm not meeting any adults. I don't have anything to do with adults anymore. I'm making my own way from now on. And I refused to go out. I never did see those people. They never got to see my face. They never got to see anything about me. But that didn't stop them from coming to do what they came to do. They brought food. They brought gifts. They brought unconditional love, which was something we didn't even know existed. And they brought the one gift that none of us can live without. They brought hope. They brought us hope. And I sat in the back and I never did go out. I was not a gracious receiver. They never got to see that I would go on to become an award-winning sales leader. They never got to see that I would become an outstanding woman in business in Phoenix. They never got to see that I would found a nonprofit organization that supports law enforcement families. They never got to see that their kindness made a difference, because I was in the middle of the struggle. And when you're in the middle of the struggle, all of your energy and all of your resources is just trying to keep breathing. And you don't have any energy or resources left to be gracious or to be courteous or to be kind. I was not a gracious receiver. But when I look back on my life and when I look back on everything that I've accomplished, I can look back to that particular time in my life. That was a life-changing moment for me. Because even though I did not go out to see them, like the Grinch, my heart grew 3 times that day. And in that moment, I made a decision that I was going to live a good life and that I was going to become a helper. And everything I've accomplished since then, I look back in that moment, because really that is the secret to all success. The secret to all success is 2 things. 2 things. Sounds simple, but don't mistake simple for easy or everybody would do it, right? But the secret is make up your mind you're going to do it and put in the work. And the other reason I wanted to share that story with you all is because we all have opportunities every day to choose kindness. And very often the people that we can extend kindness to are the people that seem like the last person you want to give kindness to. They're the people that are in the struggle. But the thing is, your kindness, when you choose it, even though you may never hear thank you, even though that person may not even realize you are extending kindness to them, your kindness could change somebody's life. So that's my story.
Yeah, that was really inspiring. I think it's just really amazing how you were able to make up your mind like that and just decide that you wanted to do this for the rest of your life. I think that's something Caitlin and I can definitely learn from.
For sure. I think that was the best retelling of the Grinch I've ever heard. And it's going to stick with me. I think you gave a lot of really great lessons that a lot of us, especially in this modern day with as much privilege as we have, can really take away. Girls and young women often are discouraged from pursuing careers in business like you have. What really inspired you to enter that realm of business and entrepreneurship, particularly technology and STEM?
Yeah. Well, for all of us, right? For all of us, our life isn't all negative or all positive, right? We all have ups and downs, and we all have our challenges and obstacles. And I can say that my dad and my mom, when I was little, always told me that I could do or be anything I wanted to do or be. And so I was encouraged from a young age to pursue whatever I was interested in. And I never felt like I had limits on what I could do or be. I didn't feel like I had the same limits that maybe our society would want to put on me, because my parents told me not to worry about that. And so I really thank them for that. I knew from a young age, and I believe we all have gifts that we're given to fulfill our purpose. I believe we all have a purpose. And I knew from a young age that I wanted to be in business, that I wanted to pursue things that made a difference. And technology is something that makes a difference, right? Technology is tools that we use to make our lives better if it's used correctly. And so I was always interested in that. I was always interested in the innovation, and I was interested in business. So that's the path I chose to follow.
That's really, really reassuring to hear, especially as young nonprofit founders and for our audience who are in high school trying to figure out what they're going to do. We often have our parents kind of telling us, oh, you should go on this path or this path. But I guess in the end, it's really up to us to choose.
Yeah, I think the magic happens when you pursue your purpose. And we all have that. And we have gifts that we were born with to fulfill that purpose. And I do think that's when the magic happens.
Yeah, I know a lot of girls our age, especially just with deciding college majors, we can feel a lot of pressure on what we actually want to do for the rest of our lives. So what advice would you like to give to girls our age who are interested in becoming entrepreneurs, but are not really sure if it's the right field for them?
Yeah, I've always found that people are a great resource. And anything I've done in life, anything that I wanted to do that I'd never done before, anything that I was struggling with, anything that I've taken several teams to accomplish results that people thought were impossible. And the one thing that I can look back that's common across all of those is utilizing the power of others, the power of people, to help determine the path and if it's the right fit, and sometimes the steps to get there. So my advice would be, if you are interested in a particular field or a particular industry for your entrepreneurship, find some people who are already doing it and connect with them and ask them if you can sit down and talk with them for 15 minutes. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? Can I have a Zoom call with you? People that are already doing it would be thrilled to talk with you. So when I wanted to launch my own business as a speaker, I found other women who had left corporations to launch their own business as a speaker. And I reached out to them and I asked them, what do you wish you would have known in the first year? What do you, what do you wish you wouldn't have done? What do you wish you would have done differently? I just had a list of questions. So if I want to be a speaker, I'm going to find speakers. If I want to be in the fashion industry, Arizona has a lot of women in the fashion industry that are designers. I would reach out to them and connect with them and ask them for a little bit of their time. And the best way to do that is on LinkedIn. You can go search fashion designers on LinkedIn in Phoenix and find them and connect with them. So my advice would be to connect to others that are already doing it and find a mentor to help you.
Yeah, that's really great advice. I know, just going off of the fashion thing, I think Caitlin herself, I saw her smiling. I think she knows a lot of those female business owners who are in the fashion industry. So yeah, I think that's definitely true that if we're interested in a field, we should reach out to others.
Kind of going off of your own entrepreneurship, we all know that you were really successful in the corporate industry before you went off onto your own path. What really made you choose that career shift, knowing it wouldn't be as stable and possibly not successful?
Well, I never assumed it wouldn't be successful because, hey, I'm in control of it, right? So So I never let that, I don't ever let I can't, or I won't, or I might fail enter my decision making, because those are just things that get in we create our own barriers then. But I will say that when I looked at my corporate life, if this was a day, I spent this much of the day doing things that were not the things that I love. I was in spreadsheets, I was in meetings, and I spent this much of the day doing the things that I love. And I just decided I really wanted to flip that around. I know I was at a point in my life and career where I know what I'm good at, and I know what I love to do. And I wanted to do that this much of the time, and the spreadsheets and meetings and things I don't love this much of the time. So I believe that a business should facilitate you living the life that you love. And I left the corporate world so that I could create a business that facilitates me loving the life that I live all the time. And that is exactly where I'm at right now. So yeah, it was scary because, hey, you know, when you work for a corporation, you get a paycheck every week. Now I have to figure out how I'm going to get a paycheck every week. But I never looked back. I had a plan because I reached out to others, and I had a mentor, and I just executed the plan.
And clearly it worked. You're doing amazing right now and offering amazing advice to other young women. So thank you for coming on and sharing with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
One of the things you mentioned was that you never assumed, I guess, that your business could fail, and you always had the mindset that you would improve and do better. So what's some of the ways that you try to stop yourself from doubting your abilities? Because I know that's something that can be really restrictive, just the idea that we are our own worst enemy.
Yeah. So interestingly enough, those who study the neuroscience of the brain will tell you that your brain actually makes pathways. So when we have things that we think, we create patterns, kind of like a habit that your brain has of some of these things. So, you know, when I was contemplating leaving the corporate world, and I knew that I wanted to go out and be a speaker, in the beginning stages, I would say to myself, I'm not educated enough. You know, I don't have any secondary education. So I never had an opportunity to go to college. So I graduated high school, even though I became a lost kid on the streets, but I didn't go to school after that. And here I am at a Fortune 10 technology firm, and everybody that I work with has a college degree, everybody at my level, because I've reached this executive level. And so I kept thinking I'm not educated enough. Well, that's a false belief. And what I learned is I had trained my brain to automatically think that. And the way that you overcome that is you retrain your brain with the truth, because that was not a truth. In all the years I've been a speaker, and I've been hired hundreds of times to speak, nobody's ever asked me what my education is. They're not hiring me for my education, right? They're hiring me for the message that I'm going to share with their teams. And so the truth was, I have everything I need. So I had to learn to replace that false belief whenever I felt doubt, whenever I felt those things coming in that would keep me from moving forward, that I'm not enough, whatever it is. I'm not educated enough. I'm not fast enough. I'm not pretty enough. You know, I'm not smart enough, whatever that is. We have to find those absolute truths. And whenever that kicks in, you retrain your brain by repeating that absolute truth. So I wrote down my absolute truth. And every morning I would read it, I would speak it, and I would visualize it, because your brain cannot tell the difference between what you visualize and what's real. So I retrained my brain for success, so that when I would get nervous and I would think I'm not educated enough, I would instead change that to I have everything I need. And that really helped me to overcome those limiting beliefs that might keep me from moving forward.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think Caitlin and I should definitely start doing that. I know at our age especially, it's easy to doubt yourself. So that's definitely something I'll be doing in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have college ops coming just around the corner, since we're both juniors and we'll be rising seniors soon enough. So that'll be something we'll need every morning, especially on decision day. As we know, you are currently the president of the Phoenix chapter of the National Association of Women Business Owners, or NAWBO. Could you tell the audience about some of the things you do?
Sure. Let me ask you a question. Are you interested in what NAWBO does, or are you interested in what I do as the president of NAWBO?
Both.
I guess, yeah, both.
Okay. So as the president, so NAWBO is the National Association of Women Business Owners. We are a national organization. And what I love about us is with the chapters in the cities, we can have a local, we're able to be more nimble at a local level and respond to our local needs while we still have the backing and the power that comes with being a national organization. And we have 4 tenets that we care about. We started as advocacy. So we advocate for issues that affect women business owners. So for instance, we were really big in getting the law passed that allows women to own a business without having a man's signature. That was only 30 years ago. So, that was a big deal. So we provide advocacy for issues that affect women business owners. We provide education for women business owners and those who are interested. We actually have what we call a next generation membership. So it is specifically for young people like your listeners and yourselves, high school, college, or just recently graduated who think they may be interested in an entrepreneurial path. And it allows you to get some of that real time with women business owners who are actually doing it today. So we provide education, we provide collaboration, we provide networking opportunities, and we provide advocacy. And so we do all of those things here in Phoenix, as well as at a national level. And we do them through events that we host that are targeted around any one of those specific activities. So as the president, it's my job to make sure that all of the things that we do are in keeping and in alignment with our vision, and most importantly, empower and help propel all of our members, because all of our members are women business owners, or those who support women business owners, or those who want to be women business owners.
NAWBO seems like an absolutely amazing organization, and we'll definitely link information in the YouTube description about the Next Gen program for anybody who's listening to check out, because it sounds amazing. And I think Neha and I will definitely both try to make it.
Yeah, we'd love to see you guys there. We'd love to invite anybody who's interested to join us.
Yeah, for sure. I think you mentioned earlier that you have some additional duties as president of the Phoenix chapter of NAWBO. So could you tell us a little bit about that?
Some additional duties. I represent the organization here in Phoenix. When COVID first hit, and we were trying to figure out how to navigate the new world that we found ourselves in, the new and uncertain world that we found ourselves in. I was actually sitting on, representing NAWBO as the president. I was sitting on task force, Governor Ducey's task force, which was asking, what do we need? What do we need in Arizona to keep businesses thriving? So I participated in that. I got the word out to all of our members so that we can make sure that our members continue to thrive and that they had the resources and tools that they needed to continue to have their businesses thriving. We work to form alliances in the community with other organizations that are like-minded so that we can have greater impact. There's always greater impact when we work together. So we work with other organizations. Did that answer your question, or was there something specific that you're looking for?
Yeah, sorry. I probably should have been clear with that. I just remember you mentioned there was the 2 things, what NAWBO does and what you do as president. So I just wanted to provide a segue for that. But yeah, you definitely answered my question. Thank you.
So I know you just talked about sitting on Governor Ducey's task force and really helping women business owners overcome barriers that have come with COVID and all sorts of other things. So I was just wondering, what do you think are some of the most significant barriers currently limiting women entrepreneurs right now? And how do we as a society overcome those?
Well, I think the biggest barrier limiting women business owners, with my experience and what I've seen, I think our ability to grow our businesses is directly related to our willingness to grow ourselves. So as much as I'm willing to grow myself, then I give permission to everybody around me to grow as well. And then I'm going to be able to grow my business because I'm not going to limit my own growth. So I think the biggest barrier, unfortunately, is ourselves, because we can sabotage ourselves so easily by thinking that we have to conform. We have to conform to the way it's always been done, or we have to conform to society's expectations of the way it gets done. Too many times I've seen, and I say this when I speak to teams in business, if you're going to do something, if you want to achieve something that nobody's done before, there are going to be people who will be your naysayers, because they will tell you that's not the way we do it. They will tell you, they're just not going to like that you're not doing things the standard way. So whether it's culture, whether it's your family, many times our families want us to conform to a certain way, and all of that gets in our head. So I think the biggest barriers are actually ones that we create ourselves, and our ability to grow ourselves is going to help us remove those barriers. Because once you believe that you deserve it, and once you believe that you want it, the resources are out there. You just have to go find them, and you can do it. So are there going to be obstacles? Is it going to be easy? It's not going to be easy. And yes, there's going to be obstacles, but the resources and the tools are all out there. It's that mindset that you have to get first.
Hopefully the young women who watch this and listen to this will be able to sort of absorb that earlier than either Neha or I did, or even you did, because the entire goal of the webinar series is to give young women the tools that not everybody had when they first started. And it's amazing that you're offering up all of this advice, which is basically just pure gold in the business world for the people who are watching this.
Yeah, definitely. I think we are getting close to the end. So for our last question, who are some female role models who have influenced your life?
Well, I'd like to say my mother. My mother was an extremely intelligent woman. Unfortunately, she grew up in a time where women had to hide. She felt she had to hide her intelligence, or the boys wouldn't like her if she was smarter than them. But her intelligence and her encouraging me led me to have the outcome that I've had. And then another woman in business that I've always admired is Estee Lauder. And I admire Estee Lauder because she was a Hungarian immigrant. She wanted to be in the fashion industry. She was really interested in chemistry, and she created her own skincare products, which she knew were amazing. And she did not, like a true entrepreneur, she challenged status quo. She never gave in to anybody telling her she had to do things an expected way. When she launched her business, she was competing against all of these established cosmetics firms, and she was working in her kitchen in her home. And she was trying to get into a big store, and they wouldn't let her in. They wouldn't let her in. So she went to a trade show where she knew that the customers of that store would be, and she passed out free samples of her lipsticks. And everybody started going to the store and saying, "Where can I get these lipsticks? Where can I get these lipsticks?" And so they had to bring her on board. So she got into the store, but still she's competing against these cosmetics companies that have these huge marketing budgets, and she didn't have any. She couldn't compete. So she started something that was called the free gift with purchase. And the other cosmetics companies laughed at her, and they told her, "You cannot make money giving away your product." Well, today Estee Lauder is a multi-billion-dollar industry. They have 5 or 6 different product lines. They're international. And the free gift with purchase is an industry standard that almost everybody does. It's not just in the cosmetics industry, but across all industries. So, I love her because she refused to listen to the experts. She didn't settle for anything less than the best. She constantly challenged status quo. She was known as a person that nobody could say no to. And one of her sayings that I loved was, "I never dreamed of success. I worked for it."
That's really inspiring. I definitely did not know about her backstory, and I see Estee Lauder all the time at just like Macy's or other department stores, but I think I'll definitely be buying that brand from now on. That's really interesting to hear.
Yeah, she's pretty incredible.
And with that last question, we're going to wrap up our webinar now. Thank you again so much, Jean, for sitting with us today. Your story is so inspiring, and we've already learned so much from just these 30 minutes. To all of our viewers out there, if you enjoyed this video, please stay tuned for our future episodes, and don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, thank you so much.